All right. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 2 of M.A.S Media. Just a quick little tidbit. Solomon is not going to be with us for this episode as he has just welcomed in a brand new baby into the world, a lovely daughter that he is now a little bit preoccupied with, obviously, at the moment. So we want to wish him well wishes. And obviously, we'll try to get him on the next episode as fast as we can. But yeah, so it's going to be just me and my co host, Aaron. Aaron, say what's up to everybody.
What up? What up? What up?
All right, all right. So today's episode, guys, I really want to dive in on Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine is, as we all know, is a very, very, I would say, in the least bit volatile character in the slightest. And he is someone that has sort of rocked the hip hop world on its core, by way of his newest song as well as his Instagram live that he um, partook in just a couple of days ago, I believe. Um, and
Yeah.
it sent the whole world on basically a whirlwind. So I am I'm very anxious to speak on this guy. I mean, at the end of the day, I've been following him. Please don't judge me, all. I don't want to say I'm a huge fan, but let's just say when Gummo comes on, uh, yeah, yeah, I could be the most proper speaking man in the in the boardroom, but when Gummo comes on, a certain level of ignorance, uh, just comes through my pores, and I just can't help it, and nor do I want to, and I think it's
Yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
think that's something we'll touch on. But yeah, so let's dive in. One of the first things I want to talk about Takashi is the the hate, right? Yeah, I gotta ask, why do you think people dislike this guy so much?
Um. I mean, well, it's weird because people do and people don't. Obviously, he's very polarizing. It's either you like him or you don't.
Uh-huh.
And I think that that's mainly because there's different generations. Like he's not our generation. He is not. Even if he was, I would not accept him. Even
Oh,
if he was, I
damn,
wouldn't accept that.
damn.
Yeah, nah. Nah. He's just nah. I've never been a fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I remember like when I first started hearing about him, I didn't know what he looked like, no nothing. Obviously, I wasn't interested, so I really didn't care. I could care less. And then when I finally saw him, I was like, "What in the what? Yo, what is
Yeah.
this? You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Really?
Oh no.
Really? Oh,
Oh
the
no.
rainbow, the tattoos on the face. I'm like, wait a second, man. Like these kids just doing anything for money nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
That,
yeah.
that was my takeaway. That was my takeaway at first.
See, but my thing is that, like,
Like you
okay,
said, Gunmo.
right, okay.
Yeah,
What about
Gunmo. I like
Gummo?
Gunmo, but that's about it. That's
That's
it.
it.
That's all.
What
So
about Kuda? What about what about what was it? Was it Billy?
no. I said it already. Gunmo. That's it. That's full stop. Full stop.
Oh, look,
That's it, man.
come on, man. Yeah, but these other
And
ones are good too,
honestly,
bro. These, they're good, man. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna have to ask you to stop. I'm gonna have to ask you to stop. So,
Yeah, don't do this.
okay, all right.
Don't. Oh no.
Mike, they say, man, misery loves company, man. I'm not about to be your company
That,
right now.
wow, wowzers.
Yeah,
Okay, so what
nah,
about what
Gumbo, that's it.
what about Gummo
And
is the it attracts you to Gummo then?
well, first of all, the beat is hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like the song starts out on like when the beat starts with the gun,
Uh-huh.
he's yelling "Skull Gang." You know what I'm saying? That okay, that's dope. The
Uh-huh.
whole composition of that song is dope. Starting with the beat, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously there's a lot of pauses and gaps in it, to accentuate the beat. So it's that song's great. I can listen to that song. If I'm about to go out, if I'm about to go play ball, if I'm doing basketball workouts, if I'm working out, Like that's a song like
Uh-huh.
waking up after like a long weekend. That song could get me into my Monday. You know what I mean? And then that's
That
he gets the credit all up to that point, and then that's where we part ways.
Jesus. Look, man. All right. I just can't. So okay. All right. Obviously, he's not everybody's cup of tea, right? Am I saying that he is the next lyrical god? Absolutely not. Okay. A lot of his shit. I mean, it's like when Bicky Icky. Obviously. Okay. That's not poetry in motion. All right. Well, we're not going to sit here and obviously, debate that aspect of this man's, lyrical ability. But at the same token, I want to touch on this because I think that, I think it says a lot. I think it says a lot about him, right? As far as his genius that he's been able to, because there is a stroke of genius somewhere in this man, young man, I should say, that has put him to where he's at now, right? Like you don't just pop up like this, like to surge like this and get 2 million views in one day. Like I don't know, I just can't see it as something that's a stroke of all luck. I feel like there's got to be something to admire from how this man has ascended.
Well, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties with the earbuds, but so on his ascension, I'll say this: like, you think half these artists out here are we know them because they're the best or whatever? No, they get picked, they get selected and put in front of us. You know what I mean? They all like there's an agenda.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sound like the conspiracy theorists, but like there's an agenda for
Oh,
not
tell me more.
the things that we consume, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
like literally like food or like through our eyes or through our ears, it was selected for you to consume for a reason. So, like they're not going to make a lot about him, like, oh, he surpassed all the odds and stuff like that. And he no no no. First of all, no, first of all, he came from a very like I don't want to say rich family, but he didn't come from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? He
Okay.
had like a Drake kind of start. So I can't even give him all of
Great.
that. I just think that he was put in front of us. Now, obviously, like with everything that's happened, he's like in the spotlight. His fans love him even more, which is crazy to me because because it is. And like he could write a book off of this. I guarantee you, someone's gonna offer him a contract for a book or a movie or a freaking like a series or maybe like Lifetime or something like that. I don't know. Maybe BET might even do it because there's some freaking fakes over there. So
That.
I'm just being serious, man. Um, I just call it like it is. So I can't give him. I'm not trying to like knock him. Like at the end of the day, he's gonna let the man make money. I'm not hating on that. I'm not knocking him on that. But like as far as him being a rapper, you know what I mean, like a hip hop artist, stuff like, oh man, like nah, it's more than just a genre. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay, I mean, see, my thing is okay. I feel you on that. I feel you, especially on the agenda part. I feel like there's certainly an avenue that and I think this YouTuber that I watch a lot is So Illuminati. Shout out to So Illuminati. One of my favorite YouTubers because he's just so stupid. But at the same token, he's on this like this crazy like sort of what's he call himself? It's like either way, it's like on this soul trip, and but he's so Illuminati. Oh man. Anyway, so my thing about what he says about people like Tekashi, people like other types of characters like Lil Pump and things of that nature are that they're like these big ass distractions that I don't want to say the government per se, but the powers that may be put into our sort of pedal in front of our faces, so that way they can distract us from what's really going on in the world, right? Um, so it's kind of like we're like mindless drones, so to speak, right? The ones that kind of heavily follow this guy, and as opposed to like really paying attention to the sort of the carnage and the sort of hectic nature of the world around us, we're kind of stuck, listening to dribble that's coming out of this guy's mouth,
yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah,
Uh, so my thing about that is okay, I can see that, but at the same token, I mean, you know how I am. I'm just me, like sometimes again you just need a little bit of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like I spend my life, I work in the banking industry. I'm so uptight all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I just want to, and it sucks that it has to be him, right? I wish it could be anybody else, right? I wish it didn't have to be the rainbow kid that puts a rainbow lollipop to his mouth, and and is licking on it with a
All right,
rat face.
pause, man.
Yeah,
All right, we don't got to get visual
you
on
know what
this,
I'm saying?
okay?
Oh, this is so. But at the same token, it's I didn't want it to be him, but it just ended up being him, where he is my avenue to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because I think just a little bit of ignorance, and I've touched on this earlier. I feel like makes the world go round. Just
The
a
world
little bit,
around.
just a little bit to make you honest, because not everybody can be and I think that's probably why you subscribe a little bit to Gummo, right? Because Gummo was like the ignorant song of the year when it came out. That was like ignorance 101. I mean, these guys were hanging out with the flags, you know, dancing, millie rocking in front of a an apartment complex, going crazy. 20,000 Bloods, just who again, what's the word? Foretelling, the future going forward. I wonder how many of those guys are looking for that address.
How
That he's
many of them are locked up right now?
absolutely, they're all wishing they didn't show their face on that in that music video. But my thing is that again, I think he does have a place in this world. That's something I do kind of want to touch on. Is sort of you know the culture that exists now that has people like him that want people like him phased out. Right, it's this whole snitching culture, right? That we've known. I mean, since we've been bred. I mean, I'm not from the city, what I'm saying, but it's just something that you're ingrained with from an early age. So I mean, my question to my co-host is, in his position, right? Using everything you know about the case, would you say it was okay for him to cooperate with the federal government?
So first and foremost, let me. I'm gonna answer the question, but first, I would never be in his position. You know what I mean? I say that because the dude was a fake. He is a fake
Mm,
loser.
mm.
That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could tell, he not really about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell my dude, like who's really about it. Like all right, for instance, like you said in the Gummo video, right? All these niggas in the video, right? All of them, bro. Right? How he the only one that looked the way he looked? So that told me that none of them fuck around like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of them on that wave that he was on, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, like you're fake. You know what I mean?
No,
So first,
absolutely.
I could never. If I was him, I would have been about it. You know what I'm saying? Number one, and number two, I probably would have had to catch some bodies, because if I was about it and they was trying to do me dirty like that, I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? So no,
Absolutely.
yeah, nah, my baby mama wouldn't have been getting a train ran on her. No, no, your baby mama and your mama would have been getting a train ran on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
by me, by me, I would have been
Yeah, I'm dead.
I would have been the conductor. I would have been the dude
Yeah.
punching tickets. I would have been the dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
step
I can't.
from the platform, please. I'd have been all those guys. You know what I'm saying? On your baby mama and your mother. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. So you know what I'm saying? Especially if you so about it. You know what I'm saying? How they
Oh,
kidnap you?
oh, I
How you
can't.
kidnapped,
I
man? You know
can't.
what I'm saying? You got kidnapped.
All right, so I'm okay. I think it's. I don't want to say universal, because there's some people that really did believe that this man was out here, conducting drive-bys on a semi consistent basis. He was living the life to the fullest. I think there's a good amount of people that actually do that. I think me and you can agree that we all knew that this something didn't smell right. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it just it didn't look right. It didn't smell right. I mean, his demographic didn't show any. Using the Gummo video as an example, his demographic, just was nowhere to be found So obviously he didn't grow up in the same hood as those guys in that video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no connection there, right?
Yeah.
Not to say there's not Mexican people that affiliate to that are blood affiliates. I'm not saying that at all, but just that, like you mentioned, the rainbow hair, the rainbow grills, the wearing green. I mean, for God's sake,
Yeah.
he was wearing green. He was wearing Mexican colors when everybody else was wearing solid red. I mean, that in itself tells me that he was pushing himself as opposed to the gang.
Hey y'all, it's Mike. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you don't do it now. Download the free Anchor app to go to anchor.com to get started. Thank you guys, and catch you guys later on our podcast.
Yeah.
But I think I think most of my question is that if all right, knowing that you wouldn't be him, right? I mean, we all get that. I wouldn't subscribe to say I would be him either, but him in itself, right? If you were in his shoes, magically, right? I'm not saying you would put yourself there, but if magically somebody woke you up and was like, "You're Tekashi on trial," would you have done what he did?
If I woke up and I was in his skin that like the day of, right?
Correct.
And it's like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Like, obviously the code is you're not supposed to snitch, but obviously like them niggas was using that nigga, brutalizing that nigga.
Correct. Yes, they were.
And about to get away with all of that, extortion and all that. So I mean, yeah, I get why he did it. But at the end of the day, again, he should have did something about it before it got to all of that. That's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't have to do all that. But that's what happens when you make a deal with the devil. You wanted to be about it. You wanted to buy your way in, and them niggas knew fake, so they knew eventually they was going to pull your card, and you wasn't going to do nothing about it. They probably didn't think that you was on a snitch. So that's shame on them, but they some idiots anyway, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's hard for me to answer this question. I think any reasonable-minded person would say, yeah, like, snitch. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, all right. I could give you some advice. Like, for instance, if someone does a capital crime and I'm like, yeah, you probably should turn yourself in. And they're like, best advice for you. Yeah, you should turn yourself in. Like, yeah, Tekashi, you probably should have snitched. But just because you snitched and that's the best advice for you doesn't mean that I'm going to fuck with you after that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you did a capital crime and I told you, hey, you should probably turn yourself in. You turn yourself in. That doesn't mean I got to fuck with you after that. Right. I don't fuck with you no more.
But, but in that Instagram, because I'm sure you watched the Instagram live video that he sent out, right? So
I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? Okay. So, I mean, I'm sure you've watched team clips, right? There was a part, and then this is one of the few things on that because it was very incoherent. He was kind of all over the place. But something that he said that was actually a little profound as far as the point he made as to why he snitched was, or cooperated, whichever comes first.
Snitch.
So, snitch. So he said that, how he said that the key word is loyalty, right? I don't want to say that I'm quoting him word for word, but the key word was loyalty. But how was he supposed to know, based upon all of those acts that they committed on him, right? How did he know that they weren't going to violate him when he was behind bars serving that time, right? Because you're sleeping with his baby mama, you're stealing from him, right? Like, because you have access to his accounts, based upon because you're in his management team, basically. So you have access to his money. When he's getting booked, you're taking percentages that aren't owed to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're threatening his mother. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing all of these things. How does he know you're not going to poke him up? That was the word he used. How am I know you're not going to poke me up when I'm when you said you're going to do this to me in the free world, how do I know in the when I'm not free, obviously in jail, how do I know you're not going to just poke me up, stab me, or something like that, and take me out, right?
Understood. Very valid question. Is
So
there
what
more
do you
to
think
it,
about?
or can I answer?
No. Please, it's that's what I'm saying. What do you think about that point that he made?
All right, well, it depends, and if you look at it from like a one-dimensional point of view, it's a very valid question. But then if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you say, well, hold on. First and foremost, you put yourself in a situation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You knew you weren't about it. You knew you were fake. You should have had all these questions when you first signed up for this. Ain't nobody forced you to do this. You did that. You did all of this, all of
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, I'm not trying to hear no victim crap. They're saying you are a victim of the game that you chose to play. That's like playing truth or dare, and then it's your turn and it's there, and you don't want to do the dare. Then why'd you play the game?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But
We all knew
is
what the
that
rules
part of
were.
the game that you sign up for people in your squad to be violating you like that though?
Yo, when you buy credit, especially within the gang, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he was, he just paid for them to be around. No, he paid for
Right.
status. Like there's
Absolutely.
levels. Like in an army, there's levels, and he bought levels for that. So you don't buy levels into a freaking fraternity,
Mm-hmm.
a blood and blood fraternity, and not be worried about like your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You are an idiot if you think that you're fine. You think the buck stops with like, okay, here's your receipt for Tekashi for buying your cred. Um, well wishes to you. No, there's gonna be more. It's called extortion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was happening to him. He signed up for that. So you're not a victim.
Well, but I don't
I
know.
mean, yes,
Okay.
he was victimized, but I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, in the grand scheme of all of this, he's the victim." No, 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 no. You don't get to do that. You're all wrong. You all are on the same boat.
Right.
In my,
Right. No, and
you know what I'm saying? So I
I don't think
don't do that.
I don't think he's ever taken away culpability from himself, right? Because obviously he admitted in front of the grand jury, the crimes that he did commit, right? The ones they caught him for, like hands down, right? So he did have to take some type of culpability in the matter. But as far as to staying loyal to those guys, right, and saying I'm not going to keep you out of jail when you were violating me to this capacity, like it's one thing. All right, the money thing, I think especially if you're not about it, right? It's I think it's kind of foolhardy of him to think that you're not going to get taken advantage of financially, by these guys.
Mhm.
I mean, the numbers sheer alone, it are not in your favor, right? Because you're coming into their world, right? Like you mentioned, right? But as far as like the personal violations, like the like you don't sign up to get kidnapped by your own people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying he
And,
look, look, look.
your baby mama
I'm
gets
not
left.
saying he signed up for all of that. What I'm saying is he's actually I am saying that. He did sign up for all of that, but he inadvertently signed up for that. He may not have thought like this was going to happen down the road, but that's why you have to have foresight. And so you
Mm.
have to think on a higher level than just like, oh, I want to be a rapper. I think I could rap. So now I need to boost my status with some. He probably flipped the coin. Was like, should I be a blood or a crip? You know what I'm saying? Like this is probably like, so come on. You know what I'm saying? So let's just no.
Oh
There's
shit.
and on a very low level, okay, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this. It's gonna be hunky dory. But on
Mhm.
another level, you gotta be like, I don't know none of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
None of them,
That's true.
and they could do anything. So I don't want to hear now. Oh well, how do I know that if I would have cooperated with them, then I would have been locked up and I would have been saved. You don't know. That's why
Mm.
when you guys when you was like, yeah, here's my money, make me a blood. I want to be this, that, and the third. Then that's when you relinquished all of that in my eyes, all
Mm.
of that. Wanted to have all the glitz and the glam. When shit hit the fan, then that's when you want to turn into Daniel again. So
That
nah,
I don't
nah,
know.
man.
And I'm gonna get my personal take. Is that I just don't. I if I was him, I'm snitching. You know what I'm saying? And that's it's just very easy. Like I don't really have to think too hard about it. Like because again, I mean, you know me. Like I know, I've been I probably am. I don't have to. I don't want to say that I'm the most loyal person in the world, because that's not something you should really have to say, right? It's just something you sort of do, right? But the people in my circle are able to trust me with everything that goes on in their lives, right? So, uh, with that being said, right, let's multiply that by a million to talk about what this guy subjected his potential himself to, which is where he'd be locked up for 49 plus years, right? Based upon all the charges that they stacked up on him to get him the turnover.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you're not going to see your little girl anymore, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
by way of visitation, but the baby mother and him don't get along, right? As you can see right now, they're beefing as it is. Like she's constantly talking shit about him. So what's to say that she would never bring the little girl around to see her dad behind bars, right? Because I mean, I know I can only imagine for people I know that have to go through that. You know, they mention about how it's not easy, right? It's not easy to have to answer those questions when you're on that drive back home, right? Especially for somebody you don't fuck with, you know, because the baby mama and him are just not on good terms. So that's one aspect of it. So now he's thinking I'm probably never going to see her again, because I'm gonna be locked behind bars for the majority of my life again. And then on top of that, again, I feel like there's like a code of ethic between men, right? Like if I'm rocking with you, I'm paying for your kid's schooling, like he mentioned. Like I was helping give people places to live. You know what I'm saying? Like you turn and you're clapping my baby mom's cheeks. Like that's a
Well, yo,
that's no.
well, yeah, yes, true. But bro, look, he's a simp. He was simping hard,
Yes,
real hard.
yeah, I
First of
can't argue
all,
with that.
like, your baby mom's, she's getting clapped. Like, what? She wasn't getting raped. You know what
I
I'm saying?
can't.
So,
I can't.
you know what I'm saying? She wasn't getting raped. So, yo,
Uh,
like,
it takes
what
two.
happened
No, it takes
regardless?
two. Or
Yeah, exactly.
four
So,
or five
yeah,
or
so
six.
she had thought, you know what I'm saying, number one,
Right.
but then again, he's a young dumb nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is.
Right.
Because first of all, why you have a baby with this thought?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you a baby yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even like
That's
you don't
true.
have a good head on your shoulders.
That's true.
Now you got a baby. You screwed because like first of all, you gotta be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah. No, there's nowhere he's gonna be able
And
to.
blend. You know what I'm saying? Because you got all these tattoos. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And obviously you a whore for the fame, so you don't want to blend in. You want to continue to stand out.
Absolutely.
So now this baby and the mother gonna be in your life, just raping you for money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Raping you half
Mm-hmm.
everything going straight to that baby.
Yeah. Next 18
So
years is gonna be a doozy.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm just looking at this dude. I honestly, bro, like I just don't. I don't care for Tekashi 6ix9ine at all. You know what I mean?
I
I
feel
just
you.
think that he's the type of person that I feel like if I ever had the chance to talk to him 5 minutes into the conversation, like I'd probably have to choke the shell this little nigga, man. You know, like also like for real, because I would try to like educate him, give him some perspective, and I just feel like I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it, but I just got a feeling that he's the type to just probably be like, "Oh, I know it all. Like I'm gonna do me and yada this, that, and third. I'm still making money." Probably might say, "Oh, but I make more money than you." Type. You know what I'm saying? That'll probably be one of his rebuts. So like, nah, man, nah. I feel bad for him, man, because I feel like his time is ticking.
No,
You know what I'm
it
saying?
is ticking, and I mean, I think this is something because again, there's only so much, um, on that topic of snitching. I think it's only uh, when it comes to Takashi. I mean, it's I don't want to say it's hard to decide what you would do. I mean, it's not an easy position for anybody to put in, but even taking those things in consideration, I think it speaks a lot about how the that loyalty factor that plays so strongly in the black community. Because if you were to go into inner city right now and ask, not even just in inner city, just in general, because even Caucasian kids are trolling this kid on his social media, and they're like, "Man, nobody, I don't fuck with that. That's that rat ass dude." And I'm just like, "All right, sit your little ass down, Timmy. Like, just cut it out. Cut that shit out. Stop speaking. Stop Twitter worrying from it because you wouldn't say this to the man's face. No, I don't care how tall he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would never come at him with that energy. But because you're behind the computer, now Caucasian people have now found a way to connect. I won't say Caucasian people, but young Caucasian male kids have found a way to give this man, either Christendom him and give him the love and an adoration that you would a modern day Messiah, or you're basically jumping on the black community bandwagon, and it's like, oh, the culture's not fucking with him. So yes, guess what? I'm jumping on what the culture is, because I don't want to be that white boy in the black group that gets swung on because I'm saying I fuck with Tekashi. At what point or another because the black community, I feel like, and this is a conversation I want to talk more so about, is this whole snitching idea, right? Like, at what point because we both know so many stories about men that have been crimes that have been committed that have not had any sort of what I'm saying? So my thing is just justice whatsoever. Jason Khan, that mere fact that as soon as the cops come around, we ain't talking. You can knock on 1,000 doors, nobody's talking. But at the end of the day, what does that really solve, though? Right?
It's not so much. I'm going to answer this, and I also want to get back to you brought up something about the hip hop culture. I definitely want to talk on that. But to answer your question, it's not so much about what it solves. It's more or less like, for instance, if like something happens, right? And I saw it happen, and the cops run around. When they come around, like, oh, did anyone see whatever happened? Like, it's not about doing the right thing for the person or the victim. It's about doing the right thing for yourself and your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because just like the police wasn't there to save that person, they're not going to be there to save your ass either. So, I'm being that serious. So yeah, you want to snitch? Okay, that's fine. They're going to find out. We know where you live,
right?
And if you're in the hood, this ain't witness protection where you going to snitch and they're going, get you up out of here. That ain't happening. You coming right back to the same block. And if you're gonna try to lie about it, like, oh, so where you been at? We ain't see you. We haven't seen you. And now they coming up. Got my cousin or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you on that.
But for the most part, motherfuckers ain't really gonna ask no questions. Like, if they think you snitched, you should have just snitched him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just as bad as if you did snitch.
No,
if niggas really think you snitched, then it's over for you. It's over. So yeah, it's more or less protecting themselves. Like, hey, at least it wasn't me that got victimized. And if I tell the cops I ain't seen nothing, then I'm definitely not gonna get victimized. And I have maybe some quote unquote equity towards loyalty with these people that are doing these things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but to interject, like, what I would ask then is, like, because I know for me, I can't say I've never snitched, because I've definitely snitched at one point in my life on numerous occasions. Would you say that there are levels to snitching, right? Like, where there, okay,
because not everything is just called like snitching, like like snitching means like, oh, like you ratted, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, you got caught. And instead of just, doing what you got to do, manning up, facing it, oh, now you done threw names in the pot. You know what I'm saying? Snitching. Now if like it's got to be like something like heavy to be considered snitching. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like if I, like, for instance, like, say like, oh, your mother come in the room and she's like, oh, who left the light on, yada yada, and you be like, oh, it was my sister. You say your sister did it. Is that snitching? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if that's snitching, then obviously everyone has snitched in their life at some point. But that's not considered snitching.
Are you sure? Because I know little kids that would call them out and be like, hey, stop snitching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the house, yeah, for sure. Like, for instance, in the house, like, say I did something, right? And then my mother came in and was like, oh, like, who did this? And my brother said, oh, it was Aaron. I'm like, not right then and there. I'm like, oh, you little snitch, I should whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course. And also, say I don't have any kids yet, but I do want some kids. And say when I do have kids, if my kids snitch on each other in front of me, I'm gonna tell them, like, oh, I'm happy you told me, but don't be no snitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't do that.
The snitching movement.
Yeah,
no.
That's no. Don't be no snitch. No, don't be no snitch. Nah,
I don't know, man.
I'm being
Like,
serious, bro.
I'm telling you, like, cause all right, I'm so conflicted. You know what I'm saying? Cause I can say I've been a victim of someone snitching on numerous occasions, right? Because I have three sisters, right? I love to bring the personal into it, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the only way I'm able to really balance out how I feel. And when I can tell you the hurt that goes through your heart when someone snitches on you, right? Because I consider snitching all, if I'm at a job and somebody sends an email about Corey, making a couple word errors, and they're like, yeah, as far as I know, Corey was the one that did put together the PowerPoint, so that's snitching. Like you've already snitched right there.
Oh hell
You
yeah,
name drop.
yeah, hell yeah. That's dry snitching. That's dry snitching like a motherfucker. Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So what I mean, I feel like I've incurred it on so many levels that it's like I feel like I've seen it, right? My little sisters all the time used to snitch on me. You know what I'm saying? I remember I pushed my sister off the couch because she was bothering the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and she starts crying like a little seawool or whatever they call it, like a seagull. I'm like, yo, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening? I'm like, hey, stop. I'm like, shh. I thought I committed murder for a second. I'm like, hey, stop. Don't you say a thing. Just stop. And before I can even finish, she's already ran into the room and telling my mother, her mom's on the phone. Hey, what do you want from me? Hey, he did what? He did what? Hey, now I'm getting the colossal ass whooping because she can't keep her mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know what I'm saying? Like I get it, right? I mean, because again, I've been hurt physically and emotionally
Yeah.
because of snitching. You know,
Yeah, but
sometimes.
let me ask you the question now then,
Please.
because that's a great point. That's a great point. So now let me play some devil's advocate. So now because you've been hurt because of snitching,
Mm-hmm.
you would then put someone in hurt by snitching on them?
When you say put someone in hurt, what do you mean by that?
You said that you have been hurt by people snitching.
Absolutely.
You're advocating for snitching. So I'm saying that same hurt that you felt,
Yeah,
you would perpetuate that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Or warranted, right? Because let's say for instance, no, and I'm glad you asked that question. Um, Case cover number one, right? I can give you an example of a time where snitching was in my best benefit, right? Because my mom's whoopings were monumental. All right, back in the old, all right, and I have so many stories, right? So this podcast, please bear with me, guys. You're gonna get a ton of them. So my mom works as a nurse, right? And before she goes to work, she works the late night shift. She'll put some rice out, right? And the one thing she'll tell us, it's like when your mom tells you to put the chicken in the freezer, right? So that before she comes home
Mm-hmm.
from work, it's the inverse because she's coming home in the morning. My mother, right? So she's like, put the rice in the fridge. I don't want it to get bad. Put the rice in the fridge before I get home because I don't want it to get bad. Now,
No.
now me, if I got something going on, I'm going out. I'll tell my little sister, I'm like, hey, mom, I'm going out. So I'm gonna tell them, and we'll like, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell them to make sure they put it away. We'll
Yeah.
work it out. We'll all work it out together. 7 a.m. comes. That rice is still on the stove. The rice is now gone bad because you can't keep rice out that long without it being covered. Because we lived in a 1 bedroom apartment. We were, things was real. You can't leave that rice out. My mom's coming in. Oh, okay. Time to something. I need to get something to eat. Hey, hey, Jesus! Who kept the rice on the? Hey, Michael, Christina, Kalechi. What? Why is this rice still out here? What is the meaning of this? And if I did not, at that point in time, make a business decision, call out who did not put that rice away, the butt whooping would have been mine, right? Because it's from oldest to youngest. The butt whoopings went from oldest to youngest. So I was trying to protect myself. So yes, I absolutely would if it meant keeping myself from harm. If I was to be able to answer your question, hopefully I was able to do so. But I absolutely would. It's just I'm sorry, you know. No. Misery does not love company. I'll tell you that.
All right, let me say this though. Let me say this. All right. So, for instance, snitching, I consider snitching like, for instance, say me and you robbed the Krauses, right? We just went in there, we just took some candy.
Mm-hmm.
Say we robbed them. Say we took some money and you know what I'm saying? We robbed them and we bounced.
Right.
And then I get caught.
Right.
Now, if I just go down, bet, all right, that I worked alone. Oh, we know there was someone else. Now it's just me. Boom. Or if I'm like, oh, no, yeah, my friend Mike, he was there too.
Oh,
Like that is because we both did
yes,
the deed.
yes, absolutely.
Then I try to, instead of me just going down with it, because I got caught. You didn't get caught. I fucked up. I got caught somehow. I just had the bad luck. Instead of just going down with it, I freaking pulled you down with it. That is some type stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I
No,
would never do that.
no. See you know what? That's something, and I think it's, and I want to say, and I'm not saying I appreciate you more so than my family, but in that scenario where we were both part of the deed, right? No, if I was in the inverse and I was the person that got picked up, and you were the person that made it out, you know what I'm saying? Like I would not, for the sake of, hey, look, it's not like I wasn't doing it and you did it and just so happened to use my name to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing where you were trying to throw me down by, by way of making me guilty by association when I was not
Yeah.
there. I was there. Like I knew what could happen.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my
I knew
point.
what
That's my point
I knew what could
with the
happen.
whole Tekashi 69. He knew
But you know
what could
what?
happen,
They weren't brothers like that. They were not brothers
but
like
he
that.
still knew.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He
You said what?
still knew what could happen.
Yes, he knew it could happen, but they weren't close. Obviously, they weren't close like that. Because I know for a fact you would, if I had a baby mother, you would never sleep with her. If I had money in an account and you had access to the account, unless if you were helping me manage it and I gave you permission, you would not
Yeah,
steal from me.
nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there are some things that are just. I'm not saying those two are the things that automatically makes you have to send somebody away for 40 years. I'm not saying that's the only measurements we're going to use to do so. But I mean, those are heavy. Those are some pretty heavy things. Like if somebody was loyal to me, they would not do those things. So again, like his point saying, "Oh, how do I know you wouldn't just be like, you know what? Let's shut this dude up because he doesn't look like he lives that life." And if they came to him after 5 years and were like, "Hey, look, we could give you a deal if you tell us about something," how could we trust that he's not going to say something? So let's get him done behind bars.
Yeah, no doubt.
By way of
No
stabbing
doubt.
him. So how does he know that won't happen?
So his statement, right? That statement that you keep going back to, where he said, how did he know that even if he did go to jail, that they wasn't going to press him? All right, let's imagine
Right.
that statement as the ground floor, right? We're going to build everything else on top of that. Okay. All right. Now that I just said that, now let's scratch that. Let's imagine what he said to be where it really is. It's not on the ground floor. That's on the third floor. Because at the end of the day, the ground floor is when he entered the building, entered himself into that situation. So since you have a problem with floor number 3, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the ground floor. You walked into the wrong building off the jump. Period. That's where I'm at. That's how I see it. Okay, that's a valid point, but sir, you're on the third floor. Okay. You're not even in the right building. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you should be talking about. So I don't want to hear about how you got here and now stuff. You need to go back down the stairs, make a left. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but for real though, that's just what it is.
No, I feel you. No, I feel you.
I'm not trying to hear all that from him. Like, no, bro, no, not the wrong building. You went up 3 flights of stairs, bro. You knew what you were doing the whole way. Now you want to turn around and be like, oh, but no. You don't get none of that from me. You know what I'm saying? Your fans, okay, the people that can't see, the forest between the trees, yeah. But for me, no. I'm not your fool, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your fool. Tekashi.
You're right. No, like I said, I mean, and that's why I feel like I can understand both sides. But when I feel like there's a lot of counterproductivity that comes into like asking for someone to take this man's life. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like the Meek Mills of the world, I'm gonna say call him Scooby Doo, the dogs of the world who are coming out and are just like emphatically, casting aspersions against anybody who plays this man's music. You know what I'm saying? Or even gives this man I don't want to say a shout out, but gives him any sort of radio love.
Yo, no, well, I mean, hey, I guess you and I differ right here because look, and this is the part I wanted to get to about the whole culture. So, for instance, Mill, Snoop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, obviously, Meek Mill, we all know Meek Mill, you know what I'm saying? He literally is a product of all like the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? He literally is living it. You know what I'm saying? He was
Right.
a couple years ago
Absolutely.
been locked up his whole life. You know, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wait
Yeah,
a
he
minute.
been
You
locked up his
breaking up a
whole
little
life.
bit.
You know what I'm saying? Takashi, no.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Takashi's a culture vulture for the most part. And yeah, if Hot 97, like I'm from Brooklyn, man. I grew Hot 97 is the first thing I could probably ever like remember. You know what I'm saying? Hot 97, Ed Lover in the morning, bro. That's
Right.
what I grew up listening to every single day. You know what I'm saying? Hot 97, Power 105. Obviously, that's a hip hop channel over here on the East Coast, Northeast region for that matter. But Power 105 is newer. You know, Hot 97 been
Mm-hmm.
around since I've been around. So if Hot 97 was to bump some Tekashi,
Right.
yeah, I got a problem with that Hot 97. Because like that ain't us. Hot 97 is like a landmark, like a staple
Mm.
in the culture, the community. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like New York is the mecca, bro. It's the mecca. You know what I'm saying? Like for basketball, for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where it's at. So yeah, Power
Mhm.
105. You can't be playing that. And Nas, Jay Z, any of y'all motherfuckers want to do a collab with this dude? Then then you done with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm done. I ain't fucking with you like that no more.
The
Because all you care about is the money at that point, and most of these mother effers already sold out anyway. Like Drake is the type of person that I would see still doing a collab with him. But then Drake is the type of person that like, why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's his cred? Degrassi? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
the
no, I do
I'll
too.
talk
Degrassi was
about
great.
like that, man. I
Degrassi
love
was great.
Degrassi.
But
Degrassi.
like again, like why couldn't Tekashi take that Drake approach? Drake never tried to act like he was somebody that he wasn't. I mean, except for when he tries to talk with a British accent or a Jamaican accent. But outside of that, he's not out here trying to
The
perpetrate like
yeah, I
a false
can't.
persona. You know, like Tekashi. You know, Drake is Drake, and he gets made fun
Mm-hmm.
of it because of it, but he's still making money. Tekashi is just fake, bro. And now the jig's up and he's going to continue. He's actually doubling down. So yeah, I'm all for it. Like no, if he wants,
Well, when I say aspersions, I don't mean like I shouldn't say aspersion. I think that's probably the improper word to put there. I meant like they're invoking for violence to be committed on Takashi based upon what he did. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that's a rough
I don't
topic.
believe in that. I don't
Like
believe in that.
rough. Like that's kind of crazy. Like the subliminals that they're throwing to take. You're gonna get taken care of soon enough. Like shit like that. Like that's like
Yeah,
come on now. Like
look, I don't
it's
agree with it.
much.
I wouldn't do or say those things because I don't live my life like that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying? Now, had he affected
mm-hmm.
me personally on a personal level, then yes, maybe yes, I would. You know what I'm saying? Say and or do certain things, but it hasn't, and affected me, and it hasn't affected most of these people like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he didn't snitch on one of Meek Mill's family members or Snoop's family members. You know what I'm saying? Or impacted them directly in any kind of way.
Right.
So, do I agree with it? No, but at the end of the day, they have a right to say, feel, and think how they want to think, and you know,
No, I get that, but I mean, at the same, like the productivity of that though, like even said himself, he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to get," like he made a profound statement, like I'm trying to get, um, our men, right, our men being black men out of jail, right, and you're steady putting black men in jail, you know what I mean, by way of what he did, and I'm like, okay, that's powerful, but then you go back into, and obviously you could tell he's a product of that environment based upon the things he said as a result, saying like, hey, you know what, you gonna get yours, all this type of stuff. And I'm like, man, like nah, like I'm not saying I want you to be Mahatma Gandhi, but Lord, like come on now, this the kids. I mean, he still has family. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be around him. So what's now what if his mom gets taken out? Like that's
yo,
what just collateral damage.
yeah, honestly,
Like that's
yes.
crazy
That
to me.
the answer to that question is yes, yes. Yes. He signed up for that, man. Whatever happens to him, happens to him. You sow what you get, bro.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying? He sold, so he.
No, I agree with that. I mean, if he gets taken out, I'm saying, God forbid, right? I'm not going to sit here and go, "Oh man, I'm surprised somebody actually got him and actually took him out." Like, no, I'm not going to. There's not going to be an out to me that goes, "Wow, they really took him out." No, I mean it's just going to be a matter of, again, like you said, it's a
Yeah,
product of what you sign up for. But I'm saying, like, there's no need to.
yeah,
The fire's already there. The fire's hot. Like, the people want to take him out. I just don't think you need to, with your millions of followers, now then go and brush that fire and say, "Hey, it's got to be done." Like, got to take this out. Like, what? Like,
yeah.
let nature take its course. I just don't. I don't know what, like, you're getting. I feel like they're getting so, and I understand it, but the investment that they're putting into a 24-year-old guy, right? I guess because they see the impact he can have on the culture, right? Based upon the reach he keeps getting, right, and the exposure he keeps getting because of how he acts. But damn, like, is
That's
that
where
where we
we've
are
been.
now?
The
Like,
quote unquote black community has been selling its identity and culture for years. Quote unquote black culture is pop culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even just here. Like that's globally. So yeah,
oh,
and the quote unquote black community is one of the few communities on the planet that is just so inviting to outsiders. You know what I mean? And that like go back
yeah,
in time. All right,
that's another
Elvis.
topic in itself.
You know what I mean? Elvis. Obviously he took a
Yeah,
lot of, if not 90% of his work from quote unquote blacks. His image, his appeal, his guitar playing, all that stuff. Eminem, we could say, you know, Tekashi 6ix9ine, like the list goes on and on.
mm-hmm.
You know, and I have nothing against these people. I
Right.
like their music for the most part. Except for Tekashi, I don't really like his music, but I think it's a cultural thing. And with that being said, if Tekashi 6ix9ine wants to continue making quote unquote rap or hip hop, I'm cool with that, bro. But we have to just distinguish and draw the line. Like from this day forward, like we
Right.
have to make it clear like what's what. Like he's a pop hip hop artist or pop rapper or fake rapper or fantasy rapper. I call him whatever the hell you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? We need a distinguishment because you are
Right.
like
Right.
like
I can
this
see
is
that.
remember what Rick Ross found out like oh he used to be a
Mm-hmm.
CEO and stuff like that. You know, yeah, all right, he was a CEO, but I mean he was still a corrupt CEO. You know what I'm saying? At least you know what I'm saying. At least
That
you know what I'm saying. So
no, I
like, a
can't.
lot of these rappers they have
I cannot.
like not all of them are about it. Like Nas never really left his apartment. He wasn't really on the streets like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I mean, but being from Queensbridge,
Mm-hmm.
he saw a lot, and he was able to express that in his music. So I'm not sitting here trying to say like, oh, to be a rapper or be hip hop, you have to be, like this. There's a checklist for it. But I am going to say Tekashi 6ix9ine, no, nah, you nah, nah, man, because you too, and he snitched. He didn't just snitch on those people. He snitched on. He brought up Cardi B name. He brought up Jim Jones name. You know what I'm saying? He just was bringing up all people's name.
I mean, but all right. I know that, but I mean, that's, again, he's a kid. Like, he was
But
just, they
that's
asked him questions.
snitching.
He's just throwing
That's
out
snitching. Is
information.
that
You know
is
what I'm
that
saying?
snitching or
I
not
don't know.
snitching?
But they didn't. They were. I don't think it's snitching because they didn't really do anything. He brought up their
Whoa,
names, but they weren't really involved in anything. You know what I'm saying? He just brought them up because they were there,
bro.
uh, in, like, some capacity, but they
That's
not as
snitching,
far as
bro.
them committing, like,
That's
actual
snitching,
crimes, though.
bro.
As But did they indict
No,
Cardi
but
B
yo, but they
or
could have. Or you
Jim
don't even
Jones?
know. They might be building a case on them. You don't know. They didn't indict.
Okay, no, that's
You
fair.
know,
That's fair. I can't. I can't. I don't. Again, I don't know what's going on in the scene works, but I agree with you. To a much extent. Like, I just, my problem with the people that love Takashi is when they, or the people that love or hate, right? As far as because of the type of rapper he is, I'm just like, look, if you, first of all, if you're mad at him for being, if you're mad at him for how he raps, as far as, like, the lyrical dumbness, right, that comes out of his mouth, right? that's you should be expecting that. A kid that walks around with a rainbow, and the same thing goes for people that love him and act like he's a god. If you're putting him on the likes of, Jay-Z and Nas and all of these, heavy hitters, right? There's something wrong with you, right? Mentally, right? You have to put him in the correct bucket, right? And I put him in that pocket where it's like, hey, look, if I'm out in the club and they throw on some Tekashi, I'm throwing my drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm swinging. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, but I'm not doing it thinking like, oh yeah, I'm with him right now, and we're both swinging together. No, because I know if I'm swinging, he's probably not. Like I know, because I know the bucket that he belongs in. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to be realistic about the type of artist he is, right? And I think it's important, like you mentioned, to be able to make sure we categorize him appropriately, because there's going to be a point where they're like, "There's who's your top 10?" And people are like, "Oh, yeah." So I would say, what was that guy's name? I forgot. So they'll say Jay-Z. They'll be like Nas, Eminem. They'll be like, oh, and Tekashi will come running in with the new Generation Z, and I'm gonna be like, hey, hold up, fucking phone, hold the fucking phone. There's something wrong here. Something wrong with this picture. What happened to Tech Nine? What happened to all these guys? What happened to all these guys? These 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 guys that paved the way. Like what happened to those guys? No, no, that's Tekashi. He's got the influence. So he's got everything. He's got 2 million views on Instagram in 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's got 43 million hits. I mean views on YouTube in 24 hours. Beat Eminem. He had 38.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's all I needed. Like that's crazy to me. That's
Yeah.
that's sheer craziness.
Yeah,
So
you just
yeah,
got
I
separated,
agree
man.
with you.
Separate him. Honestly, like he's gonna do what he wants to do. He's gonna continue to get money. Power be to him. But yeah, nah, I just can't. I can't allow that, and I can't allow this younger generation, to try to enforce that. And again, if they're not cool with that, then hey, like make another genre. You know what I'm saying? Like call it whatever you want to call it. But I think
Absolutely.
now is
I like
20 years
that.
from now, just we're gonna look back at this time like that's when the shift came, the great shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, because rappers like Tekashi, because
yeah, the
it's
great
not just him.
divide.
There's a lot of rappers out here like him, and they all need to go with him
Oh
and
no.
just do your own thing.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like that
mm-hmm.
dude, what's his name? Lil Yachty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lil Yachty. Yeah, it's
Ugh.
funny. I like Lil Yachty more than I like Tekashi. Well, actually, I don't like Tekashi, but there's a lot of not. I won't say a lot of Lil Yachty songs, but there's a
Yeah.
few that I like. I liked over the years. Now, do I mess with him? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, nah. But yeah, he can go with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll keep Kodak
Mm-mm.
Black though. You know what I'm saying? He a young one, but he real though. You know, he's real. I'll keep Kodak.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
Kodak
Yeah, he
locked up
lived.
right now. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
living
Like,
that.
yeah, we'll
He,
keep him. Yeah. So like, yeah, we
yeah.
have to make those
Real shit.
distinguishments, and then that's about it. But all in all, Tekashi didn't affect me in the least. I didn't F with him then. I don't F with him now. I don't really care for him. I told you what type of person I think he is. I think obviously, yes, he's a snitch. In my opinion, he snitched mad hard. He snitched on Cardi B, Jim Jones, the dozens of Bloods. You know what I'm saying? When he was doing wrong too. So you don't try to act like you was some saint or you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know or yada yada yada. You knew what you were signing up for, and should be a message to all y'all out there that's listening, especially y'all young ones. Like you have to think on a
Absolutely.
higher cognitive level. It can't just be like, oh, it looks pretty, let me touch it. Like no, you know what I'm saying? Like let's do some deeper thinking, put some time into it. If you want to be a rapper, great, be a rapper, but find your own identity without having a false one. Because everything comes out. If it don't come out in the wash, it's gonna come out in the rinse. So that that. Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
dropping knowledge right now,
And
man.
these bars, man. Dead. I can't. But no, seriously, I think and I think that's an awesome way to close this. I think that's just something that I'm glad you touched on that part, because I think people really need to take a step back when they look at, especially the younger, African Americans that are growing up in the inner city. That I really hope they take a look at the tale of Tekashi 6ix9ine and watch his story and go, is that a situation that I really want to sign up for? Right? Is that really worth it? I'm not saying the whole, because obviously I know they're probably not going to, most times that they're not going to snitch. But as far as the like that gang life, right? Like, is this something that you really want, right? Because these
Mm-hmm.
guys, like, they're a lot of them are predators. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to be predators because it's a product of their environment, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're not eating, you're going to be eaten, right? So that's something that I think they need. The cautionary tale of Tekashi is something I hope people look at in that aspect, and not more so the impact that he has, because
Mm-hmm.
he could be a flash in the pan, right? Who knows? I can't imagine him being 45 years old with that 6ix9ine tattoo on his face and the rainbow dreads, and just really still
Mm-hmm.
be out here
Right.
going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Can't imagine that. Um, but anything to say
I just want to say,
before we close this
thanks
out?
for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate it. We love bringing this to you, as we see it. We're gonna try to, be on a schedule going forward to, get you some content. That way you can listen to us, when you're driving to work, driving from work, even while you're at work. You know what I mean? Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share us. Please help get us out there. That's all I got to say. Until next time.
All right. So, and like again, like as my co-host mentioned, we're really trying, guys, to figure out ways to provide you, some type of content that gives you some insight as to, what the others are thinking, right? I know a lot of you are probably having these same conversations in your, not in your barbershops or anything like that, because those are all closed, but when you're at home or you're on the phone or things of that nature, and you're talking with your boys or your girls, and you're trying to figure out like what is the verdict on this topic. We try to touch base on as many of those type of topics as possible. And again, we would love to get your feedback as far as what topics you want to hear, right? Because again, like this doesn't happen without your guys' input. Because we definitely want to
Yeah.
get
Oh
you the
yeah.
content that you want to listen to. All right. So
All right.
so Michael
Peace.
signing out.